Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.
From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Thursday, January 14th. I'm Wayne Pratt. Another historic day in Washington ends with the second impeachment of the president. Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush is one of the House members who voted in favor of the action.
The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief.
More reaction to the historic vote in just a bit. Also today, St. Louis Public Radio's Sarah Fenton reports tiny clinics are scrambling to find doses of the coronavirus vaccine. Missouri's delegation in the U.S. House has voted along party lines on the second impeachment of President Donald Trump. St. Louis Public Radio's Jason Rosenbaum reports.
Missouri Democrats Cori Bush and Emanuel Cleaver voted with the majority to impeach Trump for his role in the violent attack on the U.S. Capitol last week. Bush also proposed kicking lawmakers out who supported overturning Joe Biden's Electoral College win. But Missouri Republicans like Congressman Jason Smith of Salem say impeachment is a divisive step for a nation that needs healing.
This is a reckless impeachment. This will only bring up the hate and fire more than ever before.
Smith joined other Missouri Republicans such as Ann Wagner, Blaine Luetkemeyer, Billy Long, Vicky Hartzler, and Sam Graves in voting against impeaching Trump. I'm Jason Rosenbaum, St. Louis Public Radio.
One member of the Illinois delegation did not follow party lines. Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger voted for impeachment.
If there was not a sense of fear among many of my friends out here about political ramifications, there would be a lot more. Unfortunately, I think, this is a vote that doesn't need politics, but unfortunately is infected by it.
Kinzinger represents Illinois' 16th congressional district. It was also a day of history in Springfield, where Michael Madigan's decades-long run as Illinois House Speaker has ended. Chris Welch won the race for the powerful position. He becomes the first black speaker ever in the Illinois House.
Remember who we're down here for, our constituents, not our own ambitions. When I came to Springfield last Friday, it was not my ambition to be standing here. I can tell you that. My ambition was to help my constituents.
Welch has served in the House since 2013. Madigan held the job for all but 2 years since 1983. But Democrats soured on their leader amid an ongoing bribery investigation. Madigan has been implicated but has not been charged. And a rarity yesterday in Jefferson City. For the first time in its history, the Missouri House has formally denounced a lawmaker accused of several wrongdoings involving a relationship with an intern. St. Louis Public Radio's Jacqueline Driscoll has more on the decision to censure St. Louis Democrat Wiley Price.
An ethics report accused Price of having sex with an intern and trying to get his now former legislative assistant to cover it up. He's denied the allegations, but a bipartisan ethics committee recommended censuring Price. Republican Representative Jared Taylor from Republic says that's not enough and offered an amendment to expel Price.
In any other realm, any other environment, a person would be immediately terminated. But because the perpetrator is a prestigious member of the Missouri House of Representatives, you're going to let him get away with this and not expel him. We'll be giving him the opportunity to do this again and again and again.
Taylor withdrew the amendment after not getting enough support to pass it with the committee report, but the chamber overwhelmingly approved censure. In Jefferson City, I'm Jacqueline Driscoll, St. Louis Public Radio.
Healthcare workers in St. Louis breathed a sigh of relief as the first vaccines against the coronavirus were shipped to the region's hospitals. But, as St. Louis Public Radio's Sarah Fenton reports, doctors outside large hospitals say they are having trouble getting the vaccine.
When Dr. Andrea Otto started to see the videos online of health workers getting their first doses of the coronavirus vaccine, she was overjoyed. After nearly a year of treating people with the coronavirus in Kirkwood, she saw an end in sight. But when she asked state and local officials where to find shots, no one helped her.
When we started asking questions, we realized there was no plan for us.
The Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services made health systems, like BJC and Mercy, a priority to receive vaccines because they have thousands of employees and treat hundreds of coronavirus patients a day. But Otto says healthcare workers in small settings need help too.
We have to stand up and have a voice, because if we don't, no one will know that we're here.
Weeks into the state's distribution, workers at independent clinics like Otto's wonder where they fall in line. They describe having to broker their own deals with large hospitals and health departments to find doses, with little guidance from Missouri officials. Dr. Mimi Vo has a small clinic on South Grand Boulevard. She tried for weeks to get the vaccine for her staff.
We're here, in this war, and being there to help out, to prevent patients from going to the hospitals, that we're actually completely overlooked. And that's so frustrating.
Because she has admitting privileges at Mercy Hospital South, she got the vaccine there last month. But her father, who is a doctor, and the 3 medical assistants at her clinic weren't as lucky. They eventually took a 5-hour round trip to Lebanon, Missouri to receive a dose at a hospital there. Vo and dozens of other clinicians have formed a group to determine how independent healthcare workers can receive doses.
One post yesterday, it was a physician in Orlando, Florida, who said, our hospital is vaccinating any healthcare workers. You show up and it's an honor system. And this one doctor said, I actually may drive to Orlando, Florida to go get vaccinated. And that's how crazy it is right now.
Missouri's vaccination distribution plan states for hospitals to receive vaccines, they must sign an agreement that they will distribute them to all qualified comers. But so far, hospitals are mostly focused on vaccinating their own employees. Hospital officials in the St. Louis region say they may help distribute the vaccine to independent healthcare workers at some point, but they don't think it's their responsibility to vaccinate them. State Health Director Randall Williams agrees. He says healthcare workers who want the vaccine need to be patient.
It's just a matter of logistics once you move beyond those centralized locations. Same thing for smaller hospitals. But we are incredibly committed to doing it. And the governor has made sure we're incredibly committed to doing it.
State health officials aren't discussing how they'll ensure all healthcare workers receive the vaccine. Spokeswoman Lisa Cox said in an email the state is planning to communicate with them through professional associations. St. Louis County Health Department officials say their department will distribute some of its limited supply to healthcare workers who don't work in hospitals. In the meantime, though, doctors are increasingly trying to find the vaccine on their own. Dr. Matt Bruckle is the CEO of Total Access Urgent Care, where thousands of people each week are tested for the coronavirus. Bruckle says he turned down a state shipment of the vaccine because it only came in batches of nearly 1,000 doses, and he only needed about half that amount. Eventually, he made a deal with Mercy Health to vaccinate his employees. Even though finding the vaccine was difficult, Bruckle understands why large hospitals got the first shipments.
The old story of, you have big rocks, medium rocks, small rocks, sand, and water. How do you fit it all into the bowl? You always start with the big rocks. The hospital systems are the big pieces.
Kirkwood doctor Andrea Otto says not everyone has the time to broker a deal with a hospital for doses.
I'm so happy that people are, going in droves to get the vaccine. And by all means, if they get it before me, fine. I just want to know that I'm in the plan somewhere.
Otto has since received her first dose of the vaccine at a Mercy hospital. She hopes hundreds of other independent workers will soon have the same chance. I'm Sarah Fenton, St. Louis Public Radio.
Our David Casares edited that report. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, committed to conservation and careful management of the state's forests to make them more resilient and better habitats for wildlife. ChooseWood.com.